Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. So I'm Chung, CEO of Oraichain. So let's start our live stream today. And yeah, today is the first demo of live streams of Oraichain Studio. So yeah, so we would like to do a series of live streams related to Oraichain Studio. It is a very useful and interesting tool for developers. And yeah, today not only me, is our CTO Mr. Tu and our CPO Mr. Dux. So they are kind of a team lead in the mainnet now, and yeah, so they will have some demo on Oraichain Studios. Okay, so yeah, so before we go into in more detail of the what is the Oraichain Studio, so I would like to introduce a bit on what is Oraichain and why we need Oraichain very quickly. And so you know that we based on the motivation, and the problem is very hard to integrate an AI model to the smart contracts, and there are several reasons. So why is very difficult and almost impossible to integrate an AI model to the smart contracts. So the first reason is strictness. Is you know that the smart contract require 100% accuracy from the input. For example, when you size transactions, so you need your private key and size the transactions. And yeah, so you need to own up your wallet and the owner of the private key. So after that, you can sign the transactions. But the AI model, it cannot give 100% of accuracy. So it's typical that the accuracy is around 90 or 95%. It's very high now in the AI domain. And the second reason is from the environment. So you know that the smart contract is typical written in Python, in Solidity and Rust, but the AI and the AI model is written in Python or Java. So the environment and the language is totally different. And the third reason is the data size. So so due to the very high transaction fee on for example, on Ethereum, and a smart contract size should be small. But the AI model is require very big storage. For example, 100 megabyte or 1 terabyte to run the AI model. And yeah, so we based on that is three reasons. So we
hello.
We think that it's very hard to integrate the AI model to the smart contracts. So yeah, so that's our motivation, and we want to implement and Oraichain. So the Oraichain is becomes the middle layer, and it has to connect the AI model and the test case to the smart contracts, and so we call that is the AI Oracle. So there's a difference between the Oracle, the typical Oracle, and the AI Oracle. And the AI Oracle can bring more functionality, and it can have the AI Oracle, it can have yeah, sorry, there's some echo from yeah, so we have to bring the just the AI model and off-chain data from the outside world to the smart contract and to the decentralized applications. And yeah, so so that's our proposal is Oraichain, and in order to develop application and smart contracts on Oraichain, and from our team, so we provide a platform, or we call that Oraichain Studio. It helps a developer to very quickly develop application and smart contracts on Oraichains. And so what is the Oraichain Studio, and what is the advantage and the benefit for developer to use Oraichain Studio? So the first very interesting feature is the online integrate development environment. So it means that you can just open their browser, and you can very easy to write your code and build and test and deploy on the browser. So you don't need to implement to install or deploy anything on your local machine. So everything is online, and it's very easy to run and to share your source code as well. The second feature is advantage is the code swarm template. So we provide several AI smart contract templates, and it also compatible to the Cosmos SDK and with the WAM module. And the third advantage on Oraichain Studio is we provide the test simulations and REST API, and we don't need to connect directly to the Oraichain network. So the Oraichain Studio can simulate the test environments, and it has functionality quite similar to the real environment on the mainnet. Or so so let's have a very closely the what is the feature here. So we can see that it's on our slide here. It's the GUI of the Oraichain Studio. So everything on the browser. So from the source code and the file and the compiler and also the debug tool and everything got it on the browser. So the developer just open the browser and write a code and build the source code and run some tests to check that the logic and inside their source code, and also they can easily to deploy to the Oraichain mainnet. And the next one is very useful here is we integrate the Orai wallet to the Oraichain Studio. So when you deploy to the Oraichain mainnet, so you need to Orai wallet to deploy. So so it's similar to the MetaMask and as a wallet. So you can directly call the Orai wallet here and deploy to the Oraichain mainnet. And we also support the Oraichain testnet. It's called Luna. And the next one is we have a many feature as a feature. So in the next live stream, so we will have several demo on a very nice feature. For example, the hot reload smart contracts. So and the RESTful API and share contracts API. And I think other thing is the code completion and runtime simulation is also very nice feature on the Oraichain Studio. So so today we would like to have some demo from our CTO and CPO. So they will have the first demo is related to revoke the AI request using the AI Rocco. So the developer can easy to write, edit, and build AI smart contracts, and they can deploy to the Oraichain mainnet and interact with AI smart contracts. The second demo is how we can mint the NFT on Oraichain. And so we have one standard is named the OW721 on the Oraichain mainnet. It's similar to the ERC 721 on the Ethereum network. And so we will run the demo on how we can mint one NFT on Oraichain and transfer the NFT owner as well on the Oraichain Studio. So so the demo, the next demo is it's performed by our CPO, Mr. Đức. So could you have an introduction, Mr. Đức?
Hi everyone, my name is Dirk. I'm the CPO of Oraichain, and now I'm going to show you guys how to interact with a smart contract. I use the AI Oracle smart contract for example. After this short tutorial, you can simply build the smart contract. You can deploy it on the Oraichain mainnet, and you can also interact with it just by a few clicks and type. Okay, let me share my screen. Right, can you guys see? Here's my browser, and here's my Oraichain Studio. Normally, a smart contract has a few files here. In the next demo, I'm going to explain about the content, but for now, we are going to keep it simple. So I have prepared a fully functional smart contract, and now I'm going to build it to show you guys. Here, let's build the contract. It is the AI Oracle smart contract, so you will be able to connect to a external service, AI service. Here we have collected wasm file. This file will be used to deploy to the Oraichain mainnet. Next, we will need to build the schema. The schema is used to simplify the input when you interact with a smart contract. After that, as you can see, we have built the session files. All right. Now, with just a few clicks, we can deploy a smart contract. You can right-click it. Here, there is an option called deploy contract. Normally, it wouldn't be this easy. So we are simplifying the steps using this studio. In here, you can see the Oraichain wallet spot. You can type the label, the contract. Let's try AI Oracle. Remove 4, for example. I've tried a few times, so I increase this number. Here's the init schema file. You don't really need it. And the input as well. The input will be used when you create an AI request. But now we're just going to query or we are going to interact directly with the contract, so we don't really need it. Right, let's continue. And I'm going to enter my PIN. This is my test account, so I'm going to type my PIN here. Right. Let's wait a bit, and contract is going to be deployed. Once deployed, you will see the outputs under here, the contract address and some other information as well, like the events and other stuff. Oh, what's wrong here? Maybe we need to type the input. Hold on. Let me prepare the input. Let's see. Interesting. Wait a second. I'm going to stop sharing to get my input. I put it in my place. Wait a second. Right, I'm back. Go, let's see. It is input, the AI Oracle. It seems that it requires an input. Let's see. Wait, the input looks wrong. Let's wait a bit and I'm going to adjust this one. Yeah. There we go. Let's see if anything goes wrong. All right. Here we go. Here's the contract address, and here's the events and the content we get from the Oraichain mainnet. Next, we are going to use this address to interact. Here, we move to the query tab. Let's type in the contract address. Now, here's the fun part. We can use the query schema file from the here. From the studio, we have generated it. Let's download this one for the query. All right. Query message. Sorry, the Zoom tab is covering my browser tab. I cannot see anything. All right, let's get into query. This one. All right. This input, we don't really need it. The bottom one, let's type in owner URL. Here's the URL we are going to use. It's a CV066. And here's the input. Here's the hash input I have already prepared, but we are going to create a new one. Here's the source. As you may know, we have shared this. We shared this a week ago, and I'm going to generate a new hash. Here's the face generation one. Let's see. Try it out. Execute. Here we go. We have a hash. Let's see if this image looks good. There we go. Here's the face after this generation. I'm going to use this hash to be the input of the CV066, which is, let's see the content of it. Create photo mosaics. I'm not sure what this is. The mosaic for Cuban. Yeah, so basically you can read it here. Create photo. All right, let's try this. Continue. We correct this hash. Can you see it? I cannot. Oh, the tab is covering. Oh yeah, here we go. Here's the hash. Let's paste this into the IPFS. Since we store the image on the KFS, so we will be able to collect this hash and then show the result. Here we go. Here's the output after we interact with the AI Oracle smart contract. You have we have been able to connect to the CV66 AI service, and then it responded back to us here. So now next, I'm going to send this hash to the Zoom chat so that Mr. Tu can use this hash to continue his demonstration here. All right. Thank you guys for this training. I'm going to move to the next part. Please, Dr. please continue.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Book. And yeah, so you can see that it's very easy to write and edit and deploy a smart AI smart contract on Oraichain Studio. And then it's you can deploy to the Oraichain mainnet and the call the AI request from the Oraichain Studio. And yeah, so very easily to get the interactions with the Oraichain mainnet and the AI API from outside. And is the next part also very interesting, how we can mint the 1NF fee on the Oraichain, and also the transfer the ownership of the 1NF fee. And our CTO, Mr. Tu, will present it. So please do it, Mr. Tu.
Hi, everybody. I'm a CTO auditor. I'm going to show you how to mint an NFT with Oraichain Studio. Let's start share my screen. Can you see my screen here? This is the editor. You can see that it has the code completion as well as documentation. And I already built the WASM path. So we just start by click on the simulate tab. And we will first, we will init this. Here's the code completion will help user developer easy to interact with smart contract. We will need to fill all the required input. And then we will mint a new MFT. The token ID is just a unique token ID. We choose one with easy number to remember, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And the input image is the given MFT URL. So I just bet on this. And we give it a name. Let's say it's super rare owner yeah, description. And we will query the MFT to test it. MFT info and input the token ID. And we see the result here. And next step, we will transfer this MFT to other address. We can handle and transfer NFT. Let's say the recipient maybe a big wallet address token ID. And we will query the information which owner of this token ID. And we see it's the wallet address. And the interesting part here is so we can use, we also can query the information using the REST API. API. Can you see my screen? The APIs. Let me. We follow the name convention here. Is the name of a smart contract is MFT, and the base 64 encode of the query. Here we have the query param, and we just encode it using base 64 encoding. So, yeah, you have. So let's start with. Let's start again to get used to. Also, and we can transfer energy to other address. And we can query back the information again. Yeah. Very simple step to interact with a smart contract. And we can also call the each smart contract generated by a simulator will have a secret that only the receiver can access and call that API. Yeah. With this RESTful API, we can easy to build the app without touching the blockchain. You know that when developer change the logic of smart contract, they need to do many steps like recompile and deploy to smart contract and then update the address in many steps. With this studio, we can easily change the source code, and then smart contract will automatically reload it in simulators. And also the address is the same as well as the API URL, so the developer will feel easy to develop the app, just like they build a normal web app. And we are going to develop many more plugins down the road. And that's all for the interact.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Tu. So yeah, I hope that you understand what is Mr. Tu already have done. So basically, so he already mint NFT from Đức. So Đức is runs the AI smart contract from the one AI API to generate the NFT one image, and then Mr. Tu convert that image generated by AI to the NFT, and that NFT is located on the Oraichain. So yeah, so yeah, we hope that we can release the NFT market on the Oraichain in May, so you can enjoy to generate image and mint NFT on the Oraichain mainnet. Okay, so I think it's that's all for our demo today. So we would like to answer any question, and if you have any questions, so you can ask in the chat. So I see that it's one guy asked, so what is the programming language it's used in the Oraichain studio here? So yeah, so I think yeah, Mr. Tu, can you explain what is the programming language, and here's
the main currently the Wathem platform only support Rust language. It means that we only can only deploy the smart contract written in Rust language, but it's quite limited to the basic functions. Such as here we only have many three functions to call. The first function is the init. Init the same like when like Ethereum, when first time we need to init the smart contract, we need to set up the state as well as some other information such as the owner of the smart contract, and later we will update the state of that smart contract. It's done via handle message. We can define as many as we want, such as here's the logic of the interface for building the MFT smart contract. We need to define some basic methods such as approve, transfer, owner, and mint, and we can query the smart contract where the final function is a query function. Yeah, you see, basically we only need to work with these three functions.
yeah. So yeah, for me, Rust is quite difficult. You can see that
Yes.
it's not easy, right? But here in Oraichain Studio, we already generate and provide some template And when you open is one project, so there's already a template you can choose, and that make easier to raise the AI smart contract on Oraichain. Yeah, so here. So yeah, in the future, so we will support more Cosmos network, not only on the Oraichain and also other blockchain network like Cosmos or Polkadot, and also we can support here on our Oraichain studio. Yeah, so yeah, so I hope that it our demo and our answer to your questions. Yeah, I see that there's no more questions, and yeah, in the next live streams of the Oraichain studio, so we would like to introduce some very interesting feature like hot reload, and also the REST API. You can call from your decentralized application, and in any application can call the REST API to the Oraichain studio to test the real API, and then after that you can easy to deploy to the Oraichain mainnet and runs the typical application in the way it very convenient. Okay, so yeah, so thank you for joining us today, and I hope that you have a look at the Oraichain studio, and we would like to stop our live stream today.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you guys for listening. Thank you.
Yes, but yeah, sorry, we still have some question, right? Is like just suddenly I received it in from Andre. So he said that is we have our image. We want to make as an NFT. Yeah, it's possible. You can convert any image to the NFT on the Oraichain Studio it easily. And the second one is through your studio app and the passes. So mint owner, we can deploy it in the Oraichain network. Yes, this Oraichain Studio is optimized for the Oraichain mainnet, and that function also work on the Oraichain mainnet, and that is some function we extend from the Cosmos WAM 721, and we call that is the Oraichain 721. So that is the standard we call on the Oraichain mainnet to mint NFT. And yeah, I think it when we already mint in the Oraichain mainnet, and we also provide the mechanism to graph the NFT to the other network like the Ethereum or Binance Smart Chain, and you can sell on very common and popular marketplace like OpenSea or Rarible later. Yeah, so that's what will be will come in May, and we will release some version on the Oraichain mainnet first, and then user can grab the NFT and sell everywhere. Okay, so yeah, so I hope that it answer your question. Yeah, thank you, On, and yeah, see you in the next live stream. Bye bye. Thank you, Mr. Luke and Mr. Tu.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you, everyone. Yeah. Bye bye.